Today, Gavin is going to be handling the Monday school duties. He and I actually go to the same church, but we go to different campuses, and so we have a different pastor that delivers the same message in essence, but they do it differently. So I'm real curious what your version of yesterday's is versus mine.
Yeah, so right now our church is moving through this series on the 7 deadly sins, which sounds so
ominous.
Yes, and this one was one that I hadn't thought too much about, and it was the sin of sloth, or in more simple terms, laziness. And he broke down laziness into 5 categories, which I thought was really helpful. There's occupational laziness, marital laziness, relational laziness, physical laziness, and spiritual laziness. And I love that he did break this down into different categories because it allows you to find and pinpoint those areas in your life that you do need to work on. Because this whole series, or this whole sermon, felt like a calling you out kind of thing, because you're like, oh, where do I need to improve? And so he actually gave us 5 strategies to combat laziness.
Oh, okay.
And so those one of those was identify where you're lazy. So that's why it's nice that you have those categories, so you can say, oh, I'm good at work, and I'm really good there, but I haven't been putting a whole lot into the physical or the spiritual.
Well, I like the distinction of that because, we all know what someone lazy at work looks like, and it's very frustrating, but then, and we all know, oh, I work hard, I'm not lazy, but your spiritual life, you can be super lazy in it, and so we kind of touched on that too, and I was like, oh, yeah, that would be an area.
Like, the healthy way of living is to find a balance and all that. And you do need to realize that you are human and that you need to have grace for yourself, and you can't be perfect at all of those things, but you can strive for it.
So what are the keys?
So one of the keys is to deny the comforts of life that aren't from God. Whereas, you find your rest in God, whether it's through prayer, being in nature, and seeing Him in that, or being in community, versus saying, I'm going to watch Netflix for 8 hours a day and find rest in that. Because I know that sometimes I struggle with seeing rest as being, oh, I need to sit down and watch TV instead of, going and praying or being with community. Another thing that they said was to set up disciplines, which this one I can make sense when it comes to physical disciplines, whether it's not eating the things that I don't need to eat and whatnot, I'm going and exercising. But then spiritual disciplines, whether it's waking up and reading the Bible as soon as I wake up, or at least saying a prayer as soon as I say, thanks for waking me up today.
Right. Okay, what's the last one?
And it is that one that I said earlier about having grace for yourself, because you can't expect yourself to be perfect because you aren't God, you aren't Jesus, but you can definitely try your best. But if you have a donut and break that discipline, then it's okay.
Yeah, sure
have
it
a little
is.
grace.
Yeah, a little grace for you. All right, well, there you go. That's going to do it for your Monday school. Thank you, Gavin.